When the Methodist Church effectively withdrew from the central area of Liverpool, Barbara Glasson was asked to try something new. She spent a year walking the streets and meeting people, and out of that came Somewhere Else.
It all started 6 years ago when I was sent as the Methodist minister to Liverpool without a church and without a congregation. So I walked the streets, I talked with people, and together we made bread. And from that process, this community has happened. There was a large Methodist Central Hall 2 streets over from here, which had in its day a big congregation and lots of activities, lots of good work going on. But people have moved away from the city centre, and with that the congregation dwindled. So the decision was made about 12 years ago to close that building, which felt like a withdrawal from the city and a death of a church. And now people are moving back into the city centre. So there's a new residential community as well as the work community, and also people that live on the streets. So Liverpool has got a new heart. And the question was, how can we be here ahead of that happening rather than always following a trend? How can we be ahead of a trend and be present for people as they arrive? Which is a really prophetic move on the part of the Methodist Church to want to be there for people in advance of their need. Bread making is more than just making something good to eat, although the bread's fantastic, but it's also about being able to stand round a table side by side with somebody, and what happens is that the smell of the bread and the process of making bread helps people to tell their story. Very quickly people share who they are and what their life experience is in a very easy and gentle way, and as the bread is made, so the stories unfold. And the amazing thing that has come from this experience, from this simple process of making bread and being with people, that a community has wanted to pray, has wanted to read the scriptures, wanted to explore faith, and also to worship, not just at on the bread days, but also on Sundays. Have worship now twice a month on a Sunday.
I slept under a bush for 2 weeks, and then started telling the big issue outside of the church in Bold Street where we are now. And since then I've been here Tuesdays and Thursdays for the last 2 years, helping out as much as I can. And I said that this is not a church, this is a house of God. I was confirmed in 1969 by the Bishop of Lichfield, because I went to a Church of England school when I was a kiddie. But as I've grown older, I haven't bothered with it. But this to me is a very special place, and I love it very much. I couldn't swap it for the world.
This place doesn't exclude people, you know, it's very inclusive and welcoming, and other churches may not be as inclusive as that.
I'd like to light 3 candles. The first one is for...
When we get to a point where it's quiet for us, we'll go into a quieter space. Just take some time to reflect, to listen to the city around us, to listen to our own thoughts, listen to what God's saying to us and to our community. And we invite anybody who chooses to come through. If you don't want to, that's fine. But anybody who chooses can come and say their prayers and light a candle for somebody that's on their mind. And that's a special time in our day when we can have that rhythm of coming and going and being busy and being quiet. I think with all fresh expressions of church, it's really important to stay connected somewhere, because it's very easy to lose the plot, to be isolated, or to be dangerous. And we can have a bright idea that actually harms people, and we do check each other out. But even so, there's always the question of, is this authentic, is this biblical, is this wholesome? And we have people around that we trust and will critique what we do and help us to be self-critical of what we're doing. And I think the thing that I would encourage everybody to do in thinking about fresh expressions is to know your place, and that is walk and listen and attend to wherever it is you are. It might be in a village or in a city like we are. You can't take too long listening to the people that are around and where God is already. I believe God's ahead of us and to be discovered, and sometimes that's despite our best plan. We are a movement here rather than stuck in a church building, or all we own here are the chairs and the tables and the ovens. We could move at any time if we needed to. And all that is true to my tradition, and it's good for me to be able to say, I see Methodism unfolding here in a new way, and I can name it and I can see it as part of my heritage.